Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to the All New Marvel Roundup, the weekly Marvel Comics review with me, Phil, and as always,
Charlie. Yes, sir.
Alright, Charlie. This was a decent week. I'll start with two things I read. First thing I read was Iron Fist, The Living Weapon, number 11. The next to last issue before Battle World, we see Danny Rand's father, I don't know, he's kind of turned himself into this weird, cyborg hybrid thing. I don't know. Because he's been trying to siphon off the chi off of, I don't know, everyone from the mystical city of Kunlun. But he's opened this dimensional portal, and this flaming demon has come through, and he's, I don't know, I guess he said he's going to take the Earth as the price for the, Danny's father's meddling.
Okay.
But his father also was, I don't know, he made some, shall we say, modifications to the Rand building, so a good portion of this issue has, Danny Rand fighting the giant flaming demon, and, like, he uses the building as, like, a giant armor until the building gets taken down, and he goes flying at this giant flaming demon just as himself.
Okay.
Yes.
So the building... So is the building like a giant robot, or...?
That's what it looks like. Once he takes control of it, it does look like a giant robot.
Okay.
And I guess we're up in the air as whether he dies or not, because next issue is the last issue. But I really I like this issue. I give it a thumbs up. Iron Fist, The Living Weapon, number 11. And the other one I got that you didn't get was Return of the Living Deadpool, number 3. Once again, Deadpool trying to keep his human friends alive. We don't even see that many zombies anymore, because I guess the Deadpools have been feeding everyone they can find to the zombies, so it's just Deadpools. A lot of breaking the fourth wall, like that one picture I sent you. But they make it to a city just full of Deadpools, and I guess there's, some kind of secret they're looking for, which on the last page, they find this hidden chamber where it looks like a bunch of priests or monks that are all Deadpools. When they see the original Deadpool, they're like, step forward, brother, name the faction you belong to. The Kelly, the Dugan, the Posehn, the Nisia, the Simone, the Remender, the Way, the Bun, all like previous Deadpool writers. So, talk about breaking the fourth wall.
Yes. Well, they all can break the fourth wall now, I guess. Wow, think about that. A planet full of Deadpools.
Oh, remind me to bring that up in Super Connectivity. I have a theory about Deadpool breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, when we get Super Connectivity, because if you read the preview for Deadpool 250, it gets weird, man.
Did you see the price on that?
Oh, is it a $4.99 book, or is it?
I think it's like $9.99 or something.
What?
There's something. It must be huge. It must. I'm expecting like a hardback novel or something.
Yeah. No. It's going to be 22 pages of ads, is what it's going to be. If you didn't know,
it's for $10.
No, there's a secret war coming, and yes. Okay. More to talk about.
Charlie, just go out back and shake some money off that money tree.
Oh, well. Yeah. Okay.
But Return of the Living Deadpool number 3, I give it a thumbs up. Alright, Charlie, what did you read?
Very good. Oh, I read a lot this week. Let's start off with the book I've been reading for a while, but that I never get read in time before we actually do the podcast, is Rocket Raccoon, issue number 10. Just to give you a quick update. So Rocket Raccoon has a habit of dating space princesses, and is not a good boyfriend, and has wound up sort of owing them all lots of money. Meanwhile, Rocket Raccoon is also sort of searching on a quest to find his origins, and to find out whether or not there is another one like him. As we all know from the movie, there ain't nothing like him but him. But we opened up the series with the idea that maybe there is another. And what I love about Rocket Raccoon is, okay, it's completely presented as a funny animal comic, with outsized guns and outsized personalities, but at the same time, it really reads just like a regular Marvel comic. It's not. I mean, it's an all-ages book. Oh, actually, no, it's rated T for teen. What do you know? Not an all-ages book, but nothing's particularly offensive on it.
Violence, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. But even that, it's like I say, it's cartoon violence. It's like it's over-the-top violence. It's not even as violent as Deadpool. As far as cartoon violence, it's lasers and explosions and slimy worm creatures that get blown up. But we're on our quest to find Half-World, where he comes from, and that is the start of this new arc in issue 10. A good book to pick up, I'll tell you, if you want to get in on the Rocket Raccoon ride. And yeah, big thumbs up for Rocket Raccoon. This is just the setup book. We know that the cops are after him because he's late in his restitutions to the princesses. And we also know that he's looking for Half-World. So danger and wackiness is sure to ensue. Next book I got is...
Wait. Thumbs up?
Yeah, thought I said thumbs up. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, big thumbs up on Rocket Raccoon. Definitely, if you're not reading Rocket Raccoon, you might want to. Also, if you have a young kid who's really likes Rocket, I would say, even though it's rated teen, it's a safe book for them, so long as you're not all hung up on the fact that, raccoons have relationships with space princesses.
Well.
That's a problem for you, then okay. You're going to have to deal with your own stuff. But if you're fine with interspecies love, it's a good book for the kids. They don't show anything. They don't do anything. You just get the implication if you're a savvy reader.
Okay.
So Operation Sin number 4, which has Agent Carter, Howard Stark, and Woodrow McCord, because, of course, her first name is Agent. Yes, which actually, as we recall in the TV show, they really bring home that joke about first name being Agent when the one agent dies. So in this issue, we get sort of the big reveal here about the aliens. Oh boy! So there's a lot to get into. So just to step away from the story, I'm going to say that, this is kind of a slow-paced story. I think they probably didn't need to spread this over 5 issues. I actually thought this was going to be the last issue of this arc, but there is one more story to do. Essentially, what is happening is Howard and Peggy and Woodrow McCord, who is the last man on the wall, the man who stands between alien invasion and Earth, they're searching alien activity in Russia, and they have found alien activity in Russia this issue. Last issue we found a crystal rocket ship, which this issue crashes into the Gulag, where Anton Vanko is being held as he tries to create a portal to somewhere. And of course, as always happens, when you open up a portal to somewhere, something steps out, or is trying to step out. And savvy readers know from previous issue that the old lady that Vanko's kind of macking with in the Gulag is actually, the pilot of the crystal spaceship, and it's filled with white light. And her boyfriend or her ex is is this black energy being coming out of the portal. So we got a little proto cloak and dagger thing going here with these two, sort of a dark energy and a light energy. Although they're much more drawn in a Kirby fantasy space opera way, but definitely it seems like we're getting some like backstory, I think, and some we're getting some kind of backstory on the Soviet super soldiers that we're going to be seeing, like Dark Star, who of course has dark energy powers, and of course in this we have a nice teenaged Ursa Major, who meets his mom, who also, as luck would have it, was in the Gulag in this episode. So, because when you have superpowered things, you like to keep them all in one place. That's why they sent both Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom to New York State University. Yes, it's an interesting book. We see that McCord really hates aliens, which we knew. But it really gets me to this point where I start to wonder, maybe one of the reasons we have all these problems with aliens is because McCord keeps on shooting them. It kind of, it's like if you think all aliens are out to make war with you, and it's not to say that there aren't aliens that want to make war on the Earth, you get the feeling this whole man on the wall thing probably, in the long run, wound up causing more problems than it was worth. Yeah. I don't know. Because here, even though we have the glowing white, beautiful alien saving the young Russian girl with her magical light powers, because that's how those work, he's got his laser gun at the ready, and he's going to send her to hell, because that's what Woodrow McCord does. And, if you, here's what I'll say about Operation Sin as a whole. If you're reading it, it's a fine book. I wouldn't jump in now. It might read better in trade paperback. Oh, and this is weird. I don't know if this was a layout problem or if it was intentional in the storytelling design, but they have on the second page, it's like connected pages where if you were reading it as a 2-page spread, you could read across the top, across the middle, and across the bottom. But they have it broken up so that you actually wind up on the flip page. And I don't know if that's supposed to be cutting in between the scenes to show that all this is contemporaneous. So you're supposed to read top panel, middle panel, bottom panel, then next page, top panel, middle panel, bottom panel, or across the middle all the way across, bottom all the way across. So with Operation Sin, all in all, it's a decent book, but I don't. Here's what I'll say. It's starting to cook up as we get into the last issue. So if you have a thing for Soviet super soldiers, definitely a book to hook into. If you like to see people who hate aliens get hoisted by their own petard and realize that they're the problem, not the aliens, then it's probably a good book because, man, McCord really hates aliens.
No.
It's a thumbs. Sorry.
No, it's not.
So, thumbs up in general. But it's kind of a soft thumbs up. I mean, I enjoy it, but probably not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And like I said, the story progression up to this point has been very slow. Okay, so let's go on to because I picked up Inhumans last week. Number 0, because you have to get that 0 issue because it's even lower than the number 1 issue. Then I have issue -1 or like issue -50. That's how back in the story we're going now. It's issue -1, and you mark my words, next year you're going to see that. DC will do it first, but then Marvel's going to be right on the bandwagon with the -1 issues, this is what happened a month before. Okay, so in the Uncanny Inhumans number 0, fun book, actually really interesting book. We open up with some mercenaries in Brazil going through the slums where the Terrigen mists have just recently passed, and finding a bunch of cocoons for the Enelux Corporation, which is a corporation run by an Inhuman, but that likes to exploit Inhumans because corporations are evil. Thank you. Unfortunately for these mercenaries collecting the pods, Black Bolt shows up, and they say, "Hey, there's a $25 million bounty on him. Let's get him." But of course, he's also Black Bolt, so no, that ends rather poorly for them all. And Black Bolt gets the message from the Illuminati saying, "Hey, incursion's coming. World's about to end. Just so you know." So he heads out, meets with Medusa, who is still in the doghouse with her, and he is, for some reason, obviously, I mean, this must be how deep she's mad at him, because she really can't understand a word he's saying, which is, one of these things with Medusa, and Inhumans in general. They're very good at that nonverbal communication, or at least they seem to think they are, because, they'll sit there and they'll, Black Bolt's just sitting there, or Lockjaw's just sitting there and, doing nothing, just standing there, and Medusa will be like, "Oh, Black Bolt says this and this," or, "Yes, Lockjaw, I agree," even less than I am Groot. Anyway, but here they seem to have some real communications problems. But so he's there because he wants to use Eldrick to find their son, Ahura, and bring him back to her. Well, actually, no, not bring him back to her, because that's actually this is where I'm saying they're having a hard time communicating, because as we find out, Black Bolt seemingly knows where Ahura is, and goes right where he is, and of course gets an arrow in his side for his trouble. Because, as it turns out, Ahura is with Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror, in his little citadel castle thing that he has somewhere, he has defended, oddly enough, by 14th century archers and World War II infantrymen, I guess because they're very good at what they did, but it seems odd. I mean, it looks like he also has like some kind of laser cannons up there too, but it seems odd that, oh yes, but we'll also have 14th century archers, to defend against Black Bolt if he shows up.
Yeah.
And we have Black Bolt basically wiping them all out by saying goodbye. And honestly, probably one of the disturbing-looking scenes after he says goodbye to all the soldiers, and there's just like this flesh-colored paste on the ground. It's like, ooh, okay. A little graphic, if you ask me. Then he goes to open the door, again says open, and sends out the big Black Bolt smash down the door thing, which Kang sends to Tunguska, Siberia in 1908, because, that's always the joke. That, that was what that really was this. I don't know if they've ever done that in Marvel, but I know a lot of places have done where, the Tunguska occurrence was something that is related to our storyline. But those who do not know, the Tunguska event was, actually most people think it was a comet that exploded in the lower atmosphere above a Siberian village and basically wiped it out. But a lot of conspiracy theorists think it was. So Kang opens the door after diverting the Black Bolt's sonic scream to Tunguska, because, why not? And Kang's a little annoyed at Black Bolt for slaughtering his archers. And, but as it turns out, what has happened is Ahura has been sent to live with Kang, which Ahura didn't quite understand, because Kang's a bad guy, right? This would have been just after his time with the Future Foundation. And he's a little bit older here, a young man. And Black Bolt has come to give Ahura the Terrigenis mist, and does a little mind meld with him so he can speak with him. To put it to you very simply, Uhura's mad at him because he feels like he's been abandoned, because obviously he's been there for years. He was waiting for his dad to come back, and his dad hasn't. And Black Bolt is trying to have a little father moment with him, but at least Kang's been more of a father to him than Black Bolt has, which happens when you abandon your children with supervillains. But the cocoon forms around him, and of course, like all Inhumans, he's a little terrified at this moment, saying, "What will I become? What will I become?" And then we see that he's in his cocoon, and Black Bolt, puts his hand on it, and Kang says, "Touching." And essentially, what the deal is, because Kang knows that the universe seems to be ending, which is a shock for him, being from the future and seeing, oh, there is no future anymore. That. And he realizes that the best gone. Black Bolt asks Kang to take his son into the past to protect him from the end of all things, which is in its own way very sweet. But Kang says he will be mine forever now. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Backup story we get in this is Flint and Iso sort of working on a portal. Hey, one of those again. In New Atlan, and Iso gets it working, and of course something comes through, which is this big monster Inhuman and Gordon from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you were wondering where he was, apparently in the MC universe, he has been banished along with this big. Looks like the he looks like the creature from. You ever see the Just for Laughs festival in Montreal? He looks like the mascot for the Just for Laughs festival in Montreal. This big mouth demon looking Inhuman thing, and turns out Gordon and let's see here, what's his name? His name was they say his name at some point. Snarkle. I think they're just Snarkle is his name. And Snarkle has been Gordon and Snarkle were exiled from Atlan by King Kalden, and now they're back for their vengeance. And it kind of seems like after Gordon sort of says, hey, "I'm staying here," that it kind of looked, and Flint and Iso attack Snarkle. It seems like it's all a wacky misunderstanding, as is funny. But Flint gets the rocks off his face, which makes him happy, and Iso gives him a kiss because, young love. And that is the end of our Uncanny Inhumans issue 0. Thumbs up for it. It gives us some great, interesting backstory with what's going on with Black Bolt and Uhura and Kang and the end of all things. And gives us a nice little love story that we'll follow when we get back to Uncanny Inhumans after Secret Wars, I believe. Or maybe in the middle of Secret Wars. And we get a little preview of what's coming up in Uncanny Inhumans. And we've got Cyclops and Supreme Intelligence and Kang and all that fun. So we'll see all that going on. Okay, Uncanny Inhumans, thumbs up. And last from the books that I read all by myself is Uncanny Avengers. Number something. Number 3, since the reboot. So here we have, essentially what's happened is, Sabretooth gets mind controlled, so he's all evil again. And they're tracking down the low evolutionary and his refuge of, Animen who have been, who are the survivors of the previous purges by the high evolutionary, because he had not achieved perfection yet. Meanwhile, the High Evolutionary's daughter, Eve, and the Vision are getting it on, because apparently Eve is some kind of android-y green thing and computer creature, and they're doing their little back-to-back robot sex and producing little visions. And I guess the High Evolutionary is pleased. He likes these Vision babies and thinks this may yet be the perfection that he's long been searching for. So, yay, Vision. You still there?
Yes.
Oh, good. So that's that. So that's our start, which is kind of the spooky thing because, oh, great, now Vision's with the bad guy. And, but he feels like he belongs because, hey, androids and stuff. And we get, a quick, as I say, Sabretooth has been mind controlled, so he's evil again. And he's coming for the low evolutionary and his Anaman. The Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are going to take the fight to the High Evolutionary before he can wipe them out. But this plays right into the High Evolutionary's plans because they run into their third sibling, Luminous, I believe we're calling her in her cleavage revealing costume because that's what gives you your superpowers apparently. And of course she has powers of the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but is so much better than both of them at the use of her powers. She's faster than Quicksilver and controls the chaos, which of course makes no sense whatever if you actually break down the words of it, but controls the chaos much better than the Scarlet Witch. As a result, both are defeated, and we get this sort of implication that these are sort of that they are sort of the Danny DeVito to her Arnold Schwarzenegger in the twins scenario. That essentially and she refers to them as her tumors. So that apparently when the High Evolutionary was creating this superhuman being, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were the refuse from her, which does not make any sense really, but why not? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It would be the refuse. I think much more likely is that she is sort of the clone of them or something. Obviously, there's more story to come, but it's all very interesting, and of course, the Sabretooth does lead the High Evolutionary to the Low Evolutionary's bunker, where they're going to go murder a bunch of people because they're freaking evil, and that's not good. I'm giving Uncanny Avengers a big thumbs up. I really like the storyline. It's interesting to have this one bit of the Marvel Universe sort of not be wrapped up in, or at least one Avengers book not be wrapped up in the end of the world. Although it shows that worlds can end in other ways. Like I say, with our heroes being sort of separated, manipulated. We get Rogue being experimented on by the weird bird-looking mad scientist who wants to turn her into a super soldier. Says sure, why not? And she mentions how she hates working alone because by now, Wolverine would have, come through that wall and rescued her. But, when you have partners, it's easier when you have people that can just cut through things. But, like I say, good book. Interesting. And obviously the big story is, the whole lineage of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, which we're finding out about. But even outside of that, I really found, although it's kind of seemed to me to come out of left field, the whole Vision, the Vision turn, it just struck me as weird. Well, not weird so much as just, because it does make sense for his character, especially when you go back to the previous, I think it was the Secret Avengers storyline where they go to, where they go to the, sentient machines, sort of refuge, and he's very torn because being a sentient machine is difficult in a world of organic beings, and all that. So, moving on to the books we both read. Should we do Avengers first?
Whatever you want to do.
I left off with the Uncanny Avengers, so let's go to regular Avengers.
All right.
And what did you think of the book? Or do you want?
Well, it was kind of fun. Let me sum it up. It's the universes are coming to an end, an alien armada is going to destroy the planet, so let's unleash that wild card, Tony Stark.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Here's how I would describe this book. This is the, meanwhile, back on Eldaron book. This is, the universe is ending. This is sort of what all the other beings in space are doing, because everyone knows the universe is ending, and they all know it's Earth's fault, because it would have to be, and so they're all coming to destroy it. And and we released Tony Stark as the as Reed says, technically I am fractionally smarter than him, but Tony's way better at doing more than one thing at once. Yeah. And what Tony has been doing is building multiple different kinds of weapons. And this is how we destroy alien armadas. And as Gladiator says, we have underestimated the humans once again. And that is essentially the problem with humans, is that they get underestimated. And one wonders why they keep underestimating them. I guess on paper it's like, look, they're still using fossil fuels. We have mind-powered warp engines that, do all this magic stuff. Why are they beating us so bad? And can I just say how fun it is to see, as I was saying, that everyone in the Illuminati, well, not everyone, because apparently Black Panther still shaves, but everyone except the Hulk has a beard, and it's funny because the Hulk has a beard in his own book right now. Is that foreshadowing, or is it just slappiness by the artist?
Listen to Super Connectivity this week.
Speaking of slappiness by the artist, just has an old face now.
Well,
6-pack abs and everything. He's just, I don't know if that's, again, don't know if it's intentional or just sloppiness, but yeah. Steve Rogers definitely is not old, weak Steve Rogers, but is totally ripped, old Steve Rogers now. And, it's a great book, exciting adventure in the timeless Marvel, in the mighty Marvel tradition. Great character pieces, and if you like to see big weapons go boom, this is the book for you. We also got some sweetness with Smasher and leaving the sheer Imperial Guard, and they're like, "No, I get it, man. It's cool." Yeah, everyone's pretty cool about this whole war. Is all I got to say. It's like, oh yeah. No, I don't really want to have to destroy you guys, but we're gonna destroy you. And, not for nothing, if everyone's like, oh, hey, Earth, you guys are wonderful, but we're going to destroy you in 2 hours. Okay, couldn't we also, maybe evacuate the planet or something? I mean, we do have an armada of ships. Maybe that might have been a more useful option here, Granted, a lot of people probably aren't, that probably might felt that'd take too long. And, time is of the essence. But it just seems like, it seems like someone could have thought of a better solution. But I guess that was what last issue was about, and New Avengers. We tried all these other solutions, and none of them worked. But yeah, great book. And Tony Stark is a wild card, even as superior Tony Stark, and I'm guessing that's superior Iron Man still. Although he might have been cured by now, but he's still wearing the white symbiote armor. He may just, as Reed kind of says of Tony when he's talking to Cap here, look, his morality is different, and really, as a point to be that his morality has always been different, that he's always been this, what is the greater good for humanity thing, and maybe superior Iron Man isn't that different than regular Tony Stark. He's just more open about who and what he is,
Oh yeah.
So that's an interesting point there. But yeah, very good book. Very good book as we get 2 months till time runs out, and getting ourselves over to Secret Wars and what we're going to talk about that and Super Connectivity. Final book, Amazing Spider-Man number 17. Does this have a title? No, it doesn't have a title. The Graveyard Shift, Part 2, Trust Issues. Okay. And, Anna Marie Marconi is basically covering Peter's butt over everything. And is it just me, or is he like kind of like, hey, Anna Marie's kind of awesome. Maybe I was a little too fast to shut this all down, Mm-hmm. Maybe Anna really is someone that I could have a relationship with, that at least that's how I took that to be, is that Pete's sort of developing some feelings for Anna. Now, is Anna going to reciprocate? I don't know. Maybe not, because let's face it, Pete, he's no Doc Ock, and we all know she loved Doc Ock. And that, to me, that's the big reveal in this, is that, Pete is sort of warming up to Anna, and I don't know if we're necessarily seeing that reciprocated by Anna, because I think she's still kind of friend-zoning him on that, that he's very much, oh yeah, he looks like my boyfriend, but he's not the guy I fell in love with. And of course, when Doc Ock returns, because we know he's coming, that's going to make for a complex love triangle, to say the least. The ghost invades, and they make a good rationalization about this. It's like, hey, I like getting the money. Even the ghost has to eat, but mostly I just hate corporations and want to destroy them. And of course, Sanjay tries to negotiate with the ghost, and gets a incorporeal hand in the gut for her trouble. So I wonder if she's going to die. I hope not. I would rather Sanjay not die. I thought she makes a good foil for Parker and the Parker Industries storyline. I gotta ask you, man, how did these corporations get insurance? Because it just seems like if you're a corporation in the Marvel Universe, your insurance rates have got to be through the roof. Now, granted, and this is something we can talk about later, I've always felt that that essentially the reason why you don't have more laser guns and things like that in the Marvel Universe is because most of the technological advantages go to building repair. So I assume it's much cheaper in the Marvel Universe to repair buildings because they basically have all of this advanced technology that's just dedicated to rebuilding buildings and putting things back where they used to be after they get knocked down by the Hulk. But I got to assume that your insurance rates are phenomenal. And of course, on the cover of next issue, Parker Industries is a pile of rubble. Though, as we know, you can't judge a comic book by its cover.
Oh yeah, sometimes the stuff doesn't even happen.
Yeah, sometimes, the characters aren't even in that issue. But, really like that first story. Now, what do you think of the backup feature? Because this is another one where we've got a double feature. Something which I'm seeing more in books, and I have to admit, I kind of like having that second feature in a book, which is very old school if you think about it. Back to the old, Silver Age books where you would have like more than one story in a book, just because how many stories do you need to tell about a guy in tights, Mm-hmm. And the answer is always more. So what do you think of the backup story?
It was interesting. Are we going to get that big Aunt May Black Cat confrontation?
Oh, yeah. I that's the thing. Now, I don't know. Well, first off, I think, Aunt May knows Felicia Hardy, right? Because she dated Peter, and that was, she may not know I guess she probably knows Black Cat, too. For what it's worth, how does Aunt May not know that Pete's Spider-Man? Although I guess possibly, that's that classic question. But so I'm interested in seeing that confrontation, and to see if Black Cat's really going to take from this sweet old lady, or if she really is that evil. So obviously, what I think that is our turning point on Black Cat. That is where we get to see, is she fully villainized, or is she, maybe still got a little bit of the old Black Cat in her. That's my prediction for next issue. This issue, though, she is straight up evil, even apparently holding some lady hostage in her warehouse for some reason. Do not know what she's going to do with her, but she obviously is going to be playing with her in a not fun way, one imagines. But big thumbs up on Amazing Spider-Man, number 17. Good book.
Thumbs up.
Oh, and of course, the return of Amazing Spider-Man. So You can keep your cards and letters coming, kids, because they are printing them again. That's another thing I'm seeing that's kind of a throwback to old school comics is the return of letter pages. I've been seeing a lot more of those lately.
Yep.
Yeah, so great. I like the old school comics because I'm old, and although I didn't grow up with, I grew up with letter pages. I didn't grow up with like double feature comics, but I'm liking seeing both of those, and it makes it feel more worthwhile when you're dropping $4 a book or $10 for the upcoming Deadpool 250. Yes. Oh boy. And I think that's it for the roundup, Phil. Unless you got something else you want to talk about.
No.
No.
Just
okay.
Yeah, no, everyone. For more in-depth info on all things Marvel, listen to this week's Super Connectivity and our big news, Charlie. You can we have new pages for All New Marvel Roundup and Super Connectivity on Facebook. Just search All New Marvel Roundup or Super Connectivity. Well, do both. And give us a like.
Yes. And I will be liking myself as well.
And as always, you can...
I have to like that book with the Facebook. So it's very incestuous on Facebook. But yes, and of course you can reach out to me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter @CharlieEsser. And Phil?
And you can email me at nightwingpdp@gmail.com. And on Twitter, I'm @nightwingpdp. And of course, listen to Rob, Jack, and a little Enough Said.
Yes, always Enough Said.
So we'll see you next week, everyone, on the All New Marvel Roundup. Enough Said.